And if you are not going to assign Leonard Williams long term, which would be a mistake if they do, you have to trade him now and maximize his value and get as many picks back as possible. So if you get something similar to what Dante Fowler got when he was traded to the Rams, a third and a fifth, I would do that and do cartwheels.
3 days later.
All right, so Leonard Williams was traded for a third and a fifth round pick. As I said in my preview video, I would do a cartwheel if he got traded for a third and a fifth. Let's do it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So now that we got that out of the way and that little intro for you, let's talk about what happened today. The New York Jets traded Leonard Williams for a third round pick and a conditional fifth round pick. Now, in 2021, that conditional fifth round pick could turn into a fourth round pick if the New York Giants, who the Jets traded with, decide to re-sign Leonard Williams at the end of the year. Leonard was set to be a free agent at the end of the year, and he really did not live up to where the Jets thought he would be when they took him 6th overall. In 2015, everyone said that he was the best player in the draft. He's been far from that. He's been pretty much invisible this year, and over the last 3 years, he's really regressed. In 2015, he was okay. He was kind of overshadowed by Sheldon Richardson and Muhammad Wilkerson, who were much better at the time. But then in 2016, when the Jets make a couple of moves, Leonard Williams has a much better year. He had 7 sacks that year. 2017, step back. 2018, another step back. In 2019, this has been the worst of them all. Through 7 games, he has 0 sacks. In his last 47 games, he has 7.5 sacks. If you want to break that down and say, what is that on a pace of 16-game season? 2.5 sacks. Now, I know when you're saying, well, maybe he's not a pass rush guy. He could just be a run stopper up the middle. But do you want to invest that much capital in someone who is just stopping the run? The Jets didn't. They decided that, and smartly so, they decided that it was not worth giving Leonard Williams a ton of money, especially when you just drafted Quinnen Williams 3rd overall this past year. By them drafting Quinnen Williams, that should have been the final nail in the coffin, saying that Leonard Williams is not in the long-term plans here. Also, they re-signed Steve McClendon just a couple of weeks ago. If that wasn't a red flag that this guy was going to be gone, I don't know what else could possibly be. Now, in terms of the compensation, a third-round pick seems pretty general of what you were looking to get. I mean, like I said in my previous video, look at what Dante Fowler got or yielded the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was a third and a fifth. And honestly, they're two very similar players. They were both taken in the same year. They both underperformed. And it looks like he's on the same trajectory as Dante Fowler, as someone who's kind of underwhelming for where he was taken in the draft. And now he's the Giants' problem. And I use problem loosely because I don't think he's a terrible football player. That's not what I'm here to say. I just think he is wildly overrated. Everyone thought that he was this generational talent, and that was my gimmick that I used on Twitter for the longest time, but he's really not. He's an okay starter. He's a okay to solid at times starter. He is not a game wrecker. He is on the passing situations or running situations. Kyle Phillips has been miles better than Leonard Williams this year. Henry Anderson last year was miles better than Leonard Williams. If you're taking 6th overall, you should not be being beaten out by guys like Kyle Phillips and Henry Anderson. Just shouldn't be. And if the Giants want to invest draft capital in a season where they're probably winning 6 or 7 games in someone who could potentially walk at the end of the year, that's their prerogative. If you're Joe Douglas, you make that trade 10 times out of 10. This next quote is from Connor Hughes of The Athletic. He says, according to sources, the Giants were the only team realistically in on Leonard Williams. No one else wanted him because of his lack of production, impending free agency, and $6 million remaining base. Buyers weren't there for Jets GM Joe Douglas. He got a bite with Gettleman. Now that's huge. To me, that shows that the Giants basically were bidding against themselves. And Dave Gettleman hit on a lot of draft picks. He is a much better drafter than what the Jets have seen under Mike Maccagnan. But he has also made a lot of mistakes. And I know this is a Jets channel, and there's probably going to be Giants fans watching this who are going to rip into me for this, but I don't really care. Both GMs, Mike Maccagnan, who drafted Leonard Williams, and Dave Gettleman, who now traded for Leonard Williams, have a ton of flaws. I don't think you can really argue that. And to me, this was 100% the right move by Joe Douglas to get yourself more draft capital, because at this point, the Jets are going to go 5-6 wins with or without Leonard Williams. He is not having a direct impact on what is happening game in and game out. And when you're such a high pick, you have to. The Jets have zero, yes, count it, zero players left from the 2015 draft class now after trading Leonard Williams. And that just goes to show you what an utter disaster Mike McCagnon was with the New York Jets. Let me know what you think about the Leonard Williams trade in the comments. Was it a good move for the Jets? Was it a bad move? Get at me on social media at Matt O'Leary and why. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. I'll talk to you guys next time.